Hello there and welcome to Media News with me, Gareth O'Connor. The final one, if you will. Sad day, I know. But to kick things off, could this be the last big push? The other question you could ask is, can $1.1 billion make you cool? Well, it's a big question, but it's one question that Yahoo are asking. And they have staked 1.1 billion, or they have put 1.1 billion against making themselves cool. Because of course they've bought Tumblr. All things D's, Peter Kafka, I think he's summed this up best. Of all the chitter chatter that's going on the web about this deal that's just gone through, he has said that I think you should resist the urge to attach big ideas to your Humbler. See what he did there. Yahoo is a declining company trying to buy growth. Might work, might not, full stop. Yeah, I'm going to go with no, but hey, that's just my opinion. I actually do remember doing a media news probably 2 years ago now where we actually passed the 1 billion mark. But Apple is very close to hitting the 50 billion download mark, which is quite an achievement, I must say. And they're giving away a lot of things to do that, but really quite an achievement. The tides are turning for Facebook. Q1 results for the world's biggest online platform paint a very positive picture. Well done, Facebook, I must say. 1.11 billion monthly users now, 751 of them via mobile. If you are doing a Facebook campaign, make sure it has a mobile element. All I have to say. Daily active users stand at 665 million people. Over half log in every single day. Monthly, which is a wonderful stat really when you think that monthly, every single user logs in. Mobile growth stands at 23% year on year, which is pretty phenomenal considering last year it was off the charts. And mobile now accounts for 30% of ad revenue. So this is for the biggest site. So still, think about this. If you're an advertiser and you've got something you can sell, if you're not using a mobile platform, now you're crazy. There's an opportunity there to grow revenue. You should be looking at that. So looking at the stock price, when you think it started, and when it started, granted, it was definitely overinflated. But hats off to Facebook, to be perfectly honest with you, because when you think of that first couple of quarters, it took a huge dive to almost under half of what it was when it was first floated. But they've, hats off to them. They've done well. Some new product launches. A lot of money is obviously going to advertising, and user numbers are still soaring. So, good picture. One concern though for me in the whole Facebook thing is that ads served were 39% more in Q1. Now, I know daily UBs have increased quarter on quarter by 26%, so that can account for some of it. And of course, mobile can account for a whole lot more. But across the network, they are serving a shed load of ads, which really does, for me, bring the whole thing around clutter and performance into question, and the importance of getting in the news feed. Vitally important, you've got to get in the news feed. Bad news for SMS? Yes, indeed. Text and calling have been kind of the thing that telcos have been hanging their hat on. Let's be honest. Particularly in New Zealand, granted around the world now, data is the big thing, and data will be the big thing here. But people don't really care about text and calling. It's not a big driver. And these are some of the apps, messenger apps, of course, use data as opposed to text, that people are using a hell of a sight more now. But for the first time ever, more messages are now sent through chat apps than they are through SMS. Worth thinking about. Text on the way out. And when you think of the amount of older people who have, particularly Facebook, very easy to get onto Messenger. The other apps are a little bit different, but still. New research from Informa has shown that messages and chat apps now trump SMS. So it's a big thing really, and it's one of those, I guess, kind of carrots that telcos dangle that is pretty much irrelevant now. The end of a two-horse race, perhaps. Perhaps. Google, granted, the thing with obviously Apple operating system, it's only available Apple. There's always been a problem with Apple products. Google, of course, multiple brands have got Android smartphones. But this really does paint quite a picture now. Now, I know people talk about Apple and its share price falling, but hell, Apple are still selling a shitload of product. But from a operating system point of view, Android now really are running away with it. It's quite phenomenal when you think that over 70% of the world's market smartphones are now running an Android platform. And of course you can say it's Samsung kind of leading the charge there. Speaking of two-horse races though, people talk about Android and of course Apple. Microsoft has given it another go. And they have just released this cheeky little ad, and I do like it.
I am delighted we could share the serenity and joy of this beautiful day as we come together to celebrate the commitment of these.
Would you mind moving your enormous phone?
You mean the enormously awesome Galaxy?
Search One Trick Pony.
Aren't you a little young to have an iPhone?
You want to go?
iSheet, copy bots.
Autocorrect this.
Is there an app with that? Search karate. Karate!
You think if they knew about the Nokia Lumia, they'd stop fighting all the time?
I don't know. I think they kind of like fighting.
The Windows Phone Nokia Lumia 920. Engadget's Reader's Choice Smartphone of the Year.
Yeah, will it make a difference? I don't know. I don't know. It's a tricky one, but hell, it's a good phone. It is a good phone. When you think of the Samsung Galaxy and the iPhone, they really are pretty much have the market sewn up, but it will be interesting to see how that one plays out. But still a good ad. I do like it when brands kind of take the mickey out of their competitors. It's kind of fun. The changing landscape of the internet in one graph. I like this, but this is very much a sign of the times for me. This shows AOL versus Netflix. Remember back in 2000, 2001, 2002, AOL was the darling champion, the king, the queen of the internet. It's seen quite a significant drop since then to the point where of insignificance almost. But Netflix, role reversal, has seen the opposite. And when you think now the amount of content that is streamed, I mean, it's huge. Granted, not here in NZ, but when you look around the world and you look at America and you look at the UK, people are streaming so much content now that the TV schedule is obsolete for vast numbers. But I think this is a wonderful graph to demonstrate how the internet has changed over the last 10 years. Ever wondered what the internet smells like? Good question. Well, the world's first scratch and sniff banner ad has been done, and hats off to you, Old Spice. Click on the banner, you can find out what internet smells like, and in 4 to 6 weeks you'll get the smell of the internet. Granted, it's not immediate, but still, a bit cheeky and a little bit of fun. An interesting stat for you, of the 7 billion people in the world, 27% now have a smartphone. 27% of the world population have a smartphone. If you happen to be a brand, a marketer, if you will, and you're not thinking about mobile, seriously, go back to all my other videos and you'll see why the importance of mobile really stands firm, and you should really be thinking about it. But still, 27%, and these are people with higher disposable income. If you're not thinking about them, madness. 88% of US consumers now use their phone as a second screen whilst watching television. And I've been speaking about this a lot at length. If you are running a TV campaign, you have to be mobile optimized. That's that. Here's a couple more stats for you. In 2012, the mobile marketing industry employed 500,000 people worldwide. By 2015, this number will stand at 1.4 million people. In 2012, mobile marketing ad spend was 6.7 billion US dollars. By 2015, it'll be 20 billion. Start to see these numbers. When you start thinking about things like this and you think spend's going to increase fourfold, things you sell could increase fourfold just by having a marketing strategy on mobile and a retail strategy on mobile. Just worth thinking about. Good news for online video ads, excuse me. US population, this is US stats, but it's going to be very similar to here in NZ and pretty much anywhere else in the world. But digital video usage continues to grow in time spent and also videos streamed. When you think of the US population watching video, over nearly 60% are now watching online video, and internet users watching digital video is now at 75% watching online video. So again, it goes to that point, if you've got a brand ad, put it on television and be done? No, you put it on online video also. People are also receptive to online video. When you look at average time viewed, long form versus short form, long form is anything over 15 seconds, up to 30, up to a minute, up to 2 minutes, but of course you never want to go that high. But people are watching, when you think of short form, like 15-second ad, 13 seconds of that is being watched. Average percentage of ad completion, this is people watching the whole ad. Long form 88%, short form 79%. TV could not in your life come up with these sorts of stats, being in the fact that only 14% of people that watch TV only watch TV and do nothing else. Everyone else is doing a swathe of other things. Most people on connected devices. Definitely their attention is not on television when the ad break is on. Differentials, when you look at metrics, when you look at message recall, general recall, US research now shows that online video is double message recall what TV is. When it comes to general recall, it's 20% higher than TV. Brand recall, almost double. Ad likability, 9% more. Sorry, 11% more. Certainly worthwhile thinking about, but if again, it comes to that same old thing. Granted, an online video, in my mind, you should be doing bespoke pieces of content for online, but if you can't afford that, you should still be running your TV ads online. And while TV viewing is flat, people are spending more time now watching online videos. When you look at 2011, 2012, there's been a significant rise. I mean, hours, monthly, 2 hours more. And when you look at different streams, it's up 20, almost 20 points, or sorry, 20 streams over the course of a month. But people are spending so much more time on online video. TV, and when you think of those hard to reach people, like when an advertiser is going after 18 to 34, and they put all their eggs in television, seriously, mental. 18 to 24, put your eggs in television, mental. Waste of time, waste of money, shouldn't be doing it. You should really be putting your money into online spaces, using desktops, using laptops, using tablets, using mobile. Certain environments you do. When you look at TV, the increase from 2011 to 2012, 4%. Online video, 42%. Seriously, people. Got to be thinking about this sort of thing. Google beats Apple to it. Yes, indeed they do. To it, what do you say? Well, when you think of the wonderful thing, I love Spotify. Bloody marvelous. When you think of the success of music streaming services, you do wonder why it's taking Google and Apple so long. Well, Apple have got there first, and they've just launched Google Play Music, which is a subscription-based service. It's going to be around $10 to $15 in New Zealand, but basically they've teamed up with all the big record labels, just like Spotify have, but now they have their own market. Whilst on the subject of subscriptions though, YouTube have just launched their subscription offering. They've got a number of launch partners, range from Sesame Street, loads of other things, but they've got, I think, about 20 to 30 launch partners, it could be more. But basically these are going to be paid for channels, so Jim Henson's one. And it could be anything from $1 a month up to $5, $10 a month. But there are subscription channels that you can put, and they'll have content going up there daily. But again, it's not the times for YouTube. They've got to start monetizing that channel more. Marketers are loving Twitter Vines. I don't know how many of you are using this yet, but it's kind of cool. And I think, why the hell not? Twitter Vines basically are short form video, pieces of video content. I think it's up to 6 seconds, or it could be 10. Anyway, short form video content, so bespoke online created content, but it's been shared 4 times more than online video. And if you look at it, top 100 shared Vines at the moment, 4 of them are from brands. So again, it's a great way for brands, great environment for brands to play in. Many brands are taking part in the US. GE, PepsiCo, Adidas, Volvo, AT&T and Gap are getting involved, and also Doritos. And here's one such Vine from Doritos. Woo! Kind of thing. We're getting a lot of fun with that. Comedians are doing a lot in this space. but I do like it. There's a lot of talk also at the moment about real-time marketing. A couple of things, good reason too, I think. Particularly when you think a brand for you to be involved in current conversation by wrapping a brand around it in real time, real world goings on, it brings greater relevancy for the brand to consumers. It allows the brand to become part of the content, part of the stuff that people are talking about, people are sharing. Vitally important for brands, and brands spend millions of dollars every year trying to be relevant. There has been some recent research though in the States that says if you want to do real-time marketing, you have no more than 3 hours. Worth thinking about, right? When you think of the time it takes to get things through, from briefing stage to presenting stage to feedback stage to sign-off stage to making stage, you're talking weeks. If you want to be involved in real-time marketing, you've got 3 hours. So what does this mean for brands? Well, to be a good content creator, you have to be a good content consumer. Which, let's be honest, is very difficult for a lot of people. You've got to spend a lot of time looking at content. You need to consume content, you need to consume culture, you need to consume ideas all in real time. If you're a brand who wants to play in a real-time space, you have to have people who are employed purely to consume content, culture, and ideas in real time. Noah Breyer, who co-founded Percolate, which is a business that helps create content at social scale, recently said, great content lives at the intersection of brand voice and cultural relevance. So it's about how you're putting systems in place to help understand what it really means to be culturally relevant. You've got to be in there day after day consuming what consumers are consuming, sharing, spending time with, and find out those environments where you can latch onto and become part of the content. Worth thinking about, I think. A simple way to be charitable with Johnson & Johnson came out with this one, kind of interesting, but basically you take a photo, well you download an app first, but you take a photo, and when you share that photo and give it to a charity, Johnson & Johnson will donate $1 to any cause you want to help, simply by you donating a picture, and then that app will be shared across, that picture of course will be shared across your Facebook and Twitter accounts to let your friends see what you care about. But still, good thing for Johnson & Johnson to do. Every picture that gets donated, they donate $1. At the moment I think it's about 12,000 pictures have been donated, so they donate $12,000. But when people talk about the importance of social responsibility and brands being involved in helping local communities, local environments, local charities, it's a pretty simple way of donating money, and hopefully it will be successful. Something for the parents, a few ads for you now. Something for the parents, a fun way to show a product feature also from Volkswagen.
Go to see my darling baby, baby, while the moon smiles above. Close a little baby, baby, oh my precious love. Oh, why do you sigh if stars shining bright? Oh, why do you cry if stars are shining bright? Kiss your cats goodnight, kiss your mother.
Start-stop technology, available across the range. At least you'll save money on fuel.
Nice. Cadbury gets all personal with this one. You kind of get it just right. We're personalising chocolates. But kind of a nice way to do it, personalised thing. Of course, you can do these things within supermarkets. There you go, point of purchase. Good way to get people involved, get people buying more. It's like, ooh, personal touch. Something for the children. I like this very much. Makes a lot of sense. If you've got something for the children, then target children. Shocking, I know, still.
And our foundation manages an anonymous and confidential telephone line to attend children and teenagers under a risk situation. As a result of International Day Against Child Abuse, we launch a message for those once suffering any kind of abuse. A message exclusively for them, hidden from adults' eyes. The outdoor uses a lenticular to assemble two images, the one aimed at adults and the other aimed at children. The lenticular allows you to see one image from one angle and a different image from another angle. From the average height by age, we can determine what part of each image will be seen by each person. In this way, we find an area only visible by children under 10. A message only for children. And a warning for adults.
Good ad, that. It's kind of smart. I like it. And here's another ad, which I kind of like at the moment. This is for unrecognized heroes. When you think the stuff that's just been going on in NZ with, if you will, government help and assistance for those looking after ill or disabled family and loved ones. This is very important, timely.
For, I guess, the grand metaphor, something that we could use to really spark discussion, awareness of caring. The idea of a 24-hour orchestra appealed on a lot of levels.
The Impossible Orchestra attempts something never done before.
They're going to play around the clock to raise awareness for the nation's great carers.
Except for the normal breaks, the music will be continuous for 24 hours.
It's a great idea to give awareness to carers because they always do the work, but nobody talks about them.
I think I'm on at 2 a.m. and 11 a.m. It's a wonderful idea, and it's
Probably
exciting.
taking a nap in the back room in between. It's going to be all night, I think.
In a lot of ways, that actually really does reflect the nature of what you have to do for someone with special needs, because you do bizarre things at bizarre hours.
My godmother is a caregiver right now. I thought to come and dedicate this effort to her.
I was actually cared for through a long-term illness by my mother. For us, this is once in 24 hours, but for a carer, this is every single day.
Give everything up you've got now. Give it all up. The biggest thing I fear most from day one of caring, the biggest fear is I can't die.
What number B? Careaware.com.au will be webcasting the entire concert.
It was going to be quite surreal, and I found that I couldn't leave.
And we really want to make change. It's hopefully the start of something that is continuing and meaningful.
It's something that can actually happen to anyone.
It's very important that the community knows. They have to have an appreciation because we're all going to be there one day.
Good piece of work, and hats off to those individuals. And that's it from me for this week. And from here on in, because that is the last media news from me, I wish you all the very best. Take care of yourselves, stay brilliant, be brilliant, and all the very best to you.